Hey, so this is something I wanted to do, and I apologize for the noise. I'm in a laundromat, so you got to do the best you can with the time you got. So this weekend I took a little field craft class, and I realized that, like, literally against my own practices, all of my bug out, get home, everything was not with me. Just how things have been shuffled and crazy sometimes. So I wanted stuff for the class, but I didn't want to go overboard. So I figured this would be a good opportunity to go like into just your average sporting goods store. In this case, it was Sportsman's Warehouse, and see how cheap I could get out the door with the most basic of things. So a couple things. The bag I did not cheap out on because I wanted the bag for something else. So the bag was very expensive for me anyway. It was like a $100 Mystery Ranch Gator something or other. The tourniquet I got from the class, so that doesn't count. So I got socks in the bag, so I'm not going to count that. That was $100. So everything else in here is about $200. So keep that in mind. Shelter, I got this 5x7 vinyl tarp. It's not a poncho or anything, just your very basic nylon tarp. I mean, this thing probably wouldn't be durable, but if you got caught in a downpour, I mean, it would probably serve you for a night or three. Next thing I pulled out was a cutting tool. These Mora knives are great. They're absolutely great for the price. I think this was first, the tarp was like $7, I think, if I remember right. This knife was $22. Now, I went back and forth on buying this because it's stainless steel, which is nice for durability and all that, but it really sucks for using on flint and steel to make a fire. Some cheaper stainlesses, I think you can do it. Do have a little bit of carbon in there, but not much. So this knife will not rust, but it's not going to be great for my striker material either. So if you can get a more high carbon blade, Mora knife, they're awesome. And then these go hand in hand. So you want something to collect water in, and this is your dirty water container. So this is just a wide mouth Nalgene bottle that you can collect water in. You can use iodine tablets in that if you just need to throw some iodine tablets in there and wait your 30 minutes while you're ducking out. Also something to boil water in. I was trying to find just a titanium cup. They didn't have one. This MSR pot was the closest thing that they had to what I wanted, so that's what I got. Just a very basic metal. I don't even know if this is stainless. It is stainless. Pot to boil water in, or food or whatever. And the important thing in this here is like get something with a handle as well. You won't think about how important a handle is until you need to get your pot of boiling water out of the fire. If you don't have a Leatherman, or we'll keep this open just in case I can store something else in there. These like cheap ass little carabiners. You never know what you're gonna find on your way. You want to pick up, put on your belt, whatever. I mean, they're just so cheap. They're not weight bearing, repelling, not for climbing. Super cheap. These are not really required to like get home, but I don't like when I stink, so I got some dude wipes to disperse through my kit. So there's 5 I'll throw in there. Save these for another kit. Chlorine tablets for water. These are all individually packed as well, so that way I can, again, split these up into some other kits, because it's good to have different things in different places. What else we got in here? Fire making material. I got not only matches, but somewhere in here, this is another luxury item that you could do without if you felt like it. Get out the door cheaper. Matches, but also some fire paste. You can make this stuff. My favorite's out of dryer lint and Vaseline. It sucks if you got a dog or a female in the house, because then you're gonna get stinky burnt hair. But it takes a spark very, very well. So this fire paste, I'll probably mix with some dryer lint. I'm at the laundromat. I'm gonna steal a bunch and throw it in a Ziploc. This is the cheapest bit of paracord that they have. Cordage is great. You never know what you're gonna need to lash or tie. I'm gonna tie this up so it'll stay together a little better. What I really like is there's a paracord called Titan cord that's got, I think it has fishing line and some snare line in the middle. I mean, it sucks for cutting, but you try not to cut your cordage up anyway. There's plenty of knots out there to save your cordage with your reusable knots. This is the cheapest, most basic compass. I wish the class was longer. I want to try some of this cheap shit and see if it is actually worth chincing out on. They had several other like Cinto compasses and everything, but this one does have your very basic bezel to, you know, keep you on course while you're walking. But I mean, this is about as basic as it gets. And then, like right here, I'll throw this little mini beaner on there, and then you can keep that on your shoulder strap or handy while you're walking. I don't even think, another thing is, I don't even think this one probably doesn't glow in the dark. No, it doesn't. So that's another thing, is you're going to need light to see your compass if you're catch yourself in the dark, which coincidentally brings me to the next thing. Flashlights are great, but I'm a much bigger fan of these cheap Petzl headlamps. I think this is around $20, $30, $29.99. So I think these usually already have the batteries in them. Oh, look at that! I've been throwing away. Can't be throwing away slaps. How are people supposed to know how much money you spend on things if you don't throw stickers everywhere? No batteries, of course. Thought they came with them. But even these cheap ones have a couple different modes, like a bright, less bright, and red, which red's great for night. It doesn't, it's not blasting out as far. The wavelength doesn't travel very well. This not so much as a get home item maybe, but if you got shelter, I mean, I got this little SOL, Survival Outdoors Longer, or very punny, shit out of luck tool. Multi-purpose camp tool with fire starter and storage. So it comes with a case so you don't cut shit that you don't want cut. And of course it's got hex bit, nail puller, and a cordage cutter here on the side, and a little trench shovel. Dig you a little rocket stove to keep your flames down inside the ground. And then in the cap here, there's tinder and your striker. So this has got some paint on it. There we go, got a spark already, so at least that'll throw a spark. So these tinder things are cool. I could use these tinder things with my paste them up now, put them back in their little baggies, and then throw them in there. Just trying to make this video short and not boring. I don't know, like I like having these kits around because the exact reason I'm in this mess is because I forgot my shit. I didn't plan, and you don't want to be cold and wet like I have many times because of poor planning. So maybe if I have like 6 or 12 more of these kits, it'll be more or less impossible to find myself without one. I was walking by. I got one of these little meals if I do have the luxury or the misfortune, rather, of finding myself hungry. I got one of these meals. Boil up, I think, a cup of water. I didn't read the instructions yet. Carefully add 1 1/3 cup. I mean, come on, peak refuel. 1 1/3. Doesn't matter. You're hungry. You're cold. Boil some water. Throw it in here. Let it sit. You're good to go. And then, last but not least, first aid. This is a little trauma pack. I like these pre-made ones from Adventure Medical. They got a little bit of everything. Make sure you know what you're doing and where you're going and what you might need, because they don't come with everything. But this one does come with quick clot gauze, a trauma pad, gloves, a little bit of duct tape, a triangle bandage, 2 different sizes of gauze, a conforming gauze bandage, and I'm not going to open it because it's sealed and sterile. So I don't know. I'm guessing that's probably some type of Israeli bandage. Antiseptic wipes, resealable bag, and trauma response instructions. It's always nice to have instructions, but if you can go take a class, at least a TCCC, they're the most basic. So the trauma pack, the big things, the trauma pack was, where's it at? About $30. So that's about it. So if you don't have one, go get one.